kind of a draft that
Is this different than the one we had back in October?
there's some things added into it.
Okay,
Some of the exempt items that we don't want to put in, cleanup items is possibly in there. Put some of the sizes instead of yardage that we were discussing about, so it's a little bit easier for people to understand. And it's really pretty much the same as where we set at with the workshop. The only thing that we didn't discuss and we kind of were setting in when we had the last council meeting is how we were going to handle people that weren't able to take their material up to the transfer station. Because we had discussed at one time of volunteers doing it to maybe working with the city crew. So I just put that in there as a price for what we would do it for. And I'll just kind of run down the load as we go through here. The city cleanup would be a drop-off at the transfer station. We would start from 7 till probably right around 2:30, 3 o'clock. At 7 a.m. we start taking in loads. Each person that would bring that load in would have to either have an ID in their Independence Light and Power bill with the account number, so we can attract each individual for resident, so we don't have multiple people coming back with multiple loads coming from all around the county. Also, what we can do for you on that is we can initial for each account with that account number as they come through for that weigh ticket. And what we'll have is a weigh ticket for each individual customer and a spreadsheet that'll come up with your totals at the end of the day. Curbside pickup. The curbside pickup will be done on an advanced scheduled basis. A $25 fee would be charged to the resident for the curbside pickup, a one-time pickup. And that again, that's people that are inaccessible to the transfer station. That'd be a 5-foot by length by 5 foot wide by 4 foot high max pile. And a site visit would be required before we schedule the appointment to pick up. The curbside pickup, we like to give 10 days to be completed by June 17th. Everybody gets their piles called in, and that's the other thing we'd have to talk about if we're going to do this is who would they contact and how would they go through it. Then cleanup items to the curbside. The odds and end things that kind of sets out in your garage when you set it out there and you seem to just leave it there. Dressers, toys, dishes, glasses, mattresses, household trash, box springs, tables, chairs, couches, humidifiers. Some of the exempt items would be tires, oil, hazardous waste, batteries, fuels, antifreeze, paint, car and truck parts, chemicals, construction debris, house doors, windows, carpet, boards, lath, plaster. I can understand a window in the garage here and there or a door, but when somebody's done a whole roofing job and put all their shingles to a pile, something we couldn't pick up. So that kind of gives you an example of what we take and what we won't. And again, we talked about 4 yards, so I just went with a 5 foot length by 5 foot wide by 4 foot high pile. Limited, 1 per household. Waste management would donate all the labor for the spring cleanup at the drop-off at the Indy transfer station. The city's expense is no added expense to the resident. The city would pay $66 a ton. Now the bottom part of this is I brought this up because we're talking with the bulk item pickups, and I just want to throw it out there because of where we're at. It's a lot of times that we have move outs and move ins on rental properties. Things are left to the curb and nobody really wants to pick them up. The homeowners have left, stuff just kind of sits there. We're in the neighborhood at least one time a week, and this would help going through some of the, and it's something we need to talk about. It's nothing, but I want to bring it against the council against today. Bulk items, we would do a $45 minimum pickup with each hopper full. Each time we cycle through the truck, The next after that would be $10. First time we would go by, if we seen those items setting out that we couldn't pick up, we would tag the items, let them know to notify the city that, you know, you want them picked up. The second week, Waste Management take a photo of the items, pick the items up, would charge the city, and that way the city would have a little bit more control of recouping those dollars back. But you'd also have that picture showing that this is what we picked up at this residence. It's cleaned up, it's off the streets.
You would have addresses that would go with each
You'd
one
have
of
an
these
address, and you'd have the address, and you'd have those items picked up. And it's, kind of goes back to, there's been a couple of them that I've just picked up because I got tired of looking at them. TVs sitting on the side of the road, to a few couches here and there. And
You want
it's-
a list?
You know, and that's something that I think we could look at on as far as a city cleanup, of making that option for some of the people that wanna get rid of their stuff throughout the whole year, instead of just waiting for the one time a year, twice a year. There's an option there for somebody, if they've got a project, they need to buy new furniture and wanna get rid of the old stuff and don't have a way to move it. That'd be an option for the city, for the residents of the city to be able to do. And I just wanted to throw that out. Now it's kinda, again, we've talked about it, discussed it, trying to hammer down a date, and it is hard to get a date down for everybody that works. The biggest thing, the reason why I've gotta take the first Saturday of the month is our landfill in Illinois is open. That way, it doesn't affect any operations. I'm not sure what kind of tonnage we'll be having coming through the city. And I don't wanna affect, any tonnages that we have coming through during the week of not being able to accept them. Not being full of trailers being full. So, now, questions?
What week you looking at?
Be the 7th, be the first week of,
First Saturday of June.
First Saturday? This will be the one and only day you're gonna be up to Waste Management taking stuff from the public now, is that right?
It'll be the only one day that we'd be taking stuff through the public,
From the public.
on that Saturday. And, again, though, for people that were unable to bring the materials up, we'd leave that option out, you know, the ones that unable physically. We would leave it open till the 17th to schedule and get them picked up. Or other options out there. And I kinda asked them where we talked to the workshop.
And if somebody brings out a truckload, you're gonna get information as far as their light power number,
I do
count
their-
number and
their
stuff, so that you make sure
electric number, I would
they don't
match that
come with
up.
6 different loads of,
Well, yeah,
unless they bring somebody else's number.
name and account number, and once they
And-
match up, you know, that's
And then there's no cost to them that day that they bring that stuff.
correct.
You're just gonna weigh it, take it, and, okay. And how much cost is that to the city for you to take it that day?
It'd be $66 a ton, and all I'm costing you is the tonnage.
Okay. So is a truckload a ton? I mean, how much?
Truckload, it depends on what we put in there. If I put a ton of rock in there, which I'm not gonna take, you know, if they load a whole pickup full of rock, you know.
Tons of ton.
An average,
Truckload of lead.
an average truckload of a resident coming up there with items on those lines, or 500-600 pounds.
Okay,
That's some furniture, swimming pool, a few pieces of lath, some things like that. It's usually anywhere from 500 to 600 pounds.
okay.
I think it's probably time we just do it. Pretty soon we'll all be gone from old age.
Yes, yeah.
When basically we have the
Some
of
one
the
day.
stuff's probably
right?
empty.
You'd have the one day.
We have the one day because of the landfill in Illinois.
Right,
So why don't we just agree on that day?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, we've invited other people that we thought could help us with Amnesty Day that might be able to take some of the things that you've got as your not accept, that we asked them to come to see how that would work into this whole picture also.
is there any
Um,
other questions? Marina?
Other than the question about the site visit before the pickup, since you want everything done by the 17th, you're obviously gonna get all that done pretty quickly then.
Yep,
Somebody
I mean-
calls up and says, I can't come to this transfer station, you're gonna be out there that day to check out the
John,
pile or whatever.
I started this morning at 4 o'clock this morning, I'm here right now, so I'll take care of it in 10 days, that's no problem.
Okay, all right.
I'll visit each site and set them up and let them know which day they'll be getting picked up on.
Now, do you have a contract of some kind that you've set up from these instructions or this plan, or is that something we
It's just
need to
very-
do and get your
basically, it'll be
signature?
just a straight bill of $66 a ton.
Okay. Do we need something, do you think we need a contract or anything, or just
Well, I mean,
something of
I think what you have
understanding?
is a proposal to do it at $66 a ton.
Okay,
You can accept that. If you want a more formal contract, we could have one, but
And the $25 fee if you're going to have it picked up because you can't otherwise transport it.
just make sure we have the price terms in writing,
Right.
Yeah,
which I think, I don't have it in front of me, but,
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
with that.
pretty much got it here.
okay.
the only thing is, if we're gonna do the price terms with the $25, I'm trying to figure out how we collect that. If we wanna run that through the city, you wanna run it through myself, and have them come down to the site, the transfer station to sign up.
I know we had talked about having them buy like a tag, pay for it, then add the tag to go with their pickup, and it also would give you a location and everything so you could go to.
What I could have,